Okay, the question was how do we make this star maybe a little bit faster than what was done, and also maybe a little bit cleaner. So we got a little bit of stair stepping here and pixelization. There's a bunch of different ways to do this, but yeah, I'm gonna kind of lay out one different way. I really probably wouldn't worry about it right now, especially in this project, but just for future reference, this is how I would do it. So I'll go to File, New, and I'm going to make it just 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to go to the Custom Shape tool, and I have this already selected, but if you don't have yours, a lot of times they have some limited amounts of custom shapes to begin with, but I can click on the gear and go to all, or I can choose different ones if I just want to see certain symbols. I also want to hit a pen because that means it's going to add to my existing list. So I already have mine selected. I can define it by the width and height exactly if I want to. Right now all I'm going to do is just drag and drop it here. So if I hold the shift key down, I'm going to definitely have a constrained item, so it's all going to be proportional. If I hold the alt key down, it's going to draw from the center. So what I'm going to do is start off with it doesn't make any difference what color it is at the moment, but then I can change it if I want to, and so I will change it right now. I'm going to change to red, and then I'm going to recenter this. So that's going to be my base layer, and so basically the red is going to be behind everything, even though you can only see part of it. So because I'm going to need that for my drop shadow a little bit later on. So what I'm going to do then is take my selection. I can do a selection with the magic wand, or if I just hold control down and click on the thumbnail right here, that'll select everything on the layer. And so since the star is the only thing on that layer, it's going to select all that. Now I only want part of this star, so I'm going to go to my rectangle marquee tool, and I'm going to come up here to the menu and select the subtract from selection. So I want to subtract half of this. I'm going to zoom in here, maybe not quite that far. Start at the top and come all the way down and make sure that it's plenty big. And you can see now that that subtracted this half, and now the only thing that's selected is this half of the star. So now if I make a new layer, I could have made a new layer before or after, it doesn't make any difference. But now I'm going to fill this in with the color, and so I can switch colors here, or I can just fill with the background color. Filling with the background color, I can hit control backspace, or if you're not quite as familiar, we can flip-flop those colors, and we can go to the paint bucket tool and click inside, or we can hit alt backspace. Alt backspace fills with the foreground color, control backspace fills with the background color. So that's just a little shortcut. So I'll fill that in. Now it appears that we just deleted it, but we really didn't. So we can look in our layers palette, and you can see that there's actually a white half of a star right there. So now the cool thing is I've already got that selected, and I just need to subtract a little bit more from that. So I'm going to make a new layer, and I'll subtract what I need to subtract, and I think that was pretty much kind of based upon this little kind of elbow right here, and I might just pull a blue line over just so I get that exact. So now I'm going to subtract that section. I can go beyond my selection. I just want to make sure that I'm including everything I want to include. And now I have that selected. So I'm going to have a new layer here. I'm going to fill that with blue. And I don't know what color blue you had in mind, but I'll hit Alt Backspace, fills that. Control D is deselect. So now I have this star divided up into threes, but it's kind of hard to see right now because of the background is white also. So I'm just going to fill this with whatever. I already have a gray picked out. We'll hit Control Backspace. Oops. Sorry. Control Backspace. I was hitting Control Plus for some reason. So now I've got, you can see that this is a white half a star, and I can turn that off, and you can see the different parts. So I really needed this to be an entirely full-size star. That way I can put a stroke around everything. So I think that's what we have here, is you've got a little white stroke around that. So I can double click here, I can go to the stroke, and I can change that to white and bump that up a little bit so we got a little thicker stroke. Now you can try different also stroke positions. So see, this is kind of rounded here. If I want to go the inside, it's up pointed, but it's not really what I wanted there in this case, or it's centered. Not sure why we're getting a little thicker here than out there, but so I think maybe we just better go with the outside at the moment. Then you also have a little outer glow. We'll go to the outer glow here. Looking right at it. And we'll change that to white instead of that little off yellow, and we'll bump the spread up and bump the size up to whatever you think is appropriate. And also I think let's see, we'll hit OK. Let's check out what we had previously. So now what we could do, and this is a little more tricky here, is that you've got a bevel and emboss on the entire thing. So if I put a bevel and emboss now on each layer, I'm not going to get that same effect, because I'm going to get let's put this on real fast here. It's going to bevel this edge, and you wanted to bevel just around the edge out here. So what we need to do at that point is, after I get that down, I can merge these three layers, and so I'll go to layer and merge layers. And merging layers just merges the selected layers. Merge visible is anything that I have turned on, and flatten image flattens everything, and I definitely don't want to do that. So I'm going to merge layers, and it's taking a little bit of time. Now if I put a bevel and emboss on, it's going to affect the whole shape. At least I hope so. And what I did there was probably a bad thing. I'm going to back up because it merged the effect. So go back out of that. Let's turn off the effect. Throw that away. Then we'll come back, select all of these. We'll go to merge layers. Okay, so now I have it merged. I don't have any effects. Now I'll go ahead and put double click here, put the stroke on like we had, and now the bevel and emboss won't affect the stroke. Soften a little bit. And we need the outer glow. Again, it goes back to the default of that yellow. So go back to white, bump up the spread, bump up the size. And now that was initially a vector shape. So the vector shape is mathematical, and it's going to be much sharper than a rasterized image. So it should endure a pretty good enlargement magnification without doing that stair step. So you can see that I'm at 200% and no noticeable stair stepping. If I get in there really tight, you can start to see it. So that's why I say this is cleaner than the other one, but not necessarily significant. I guess that is. There's about 300%. You can see some significant stair stepping here. If I go to 300% on this one, it's significantly less. So hopefully that was helpful.